Hi, this is Phil from Rich Commerce, and in this tutorial I will show you how to set up your emails. And the first thing before setting up the emails is to understand why emails and the communication with the customer is super important when we talk about returns. And the reason is, as you can probably imagine, if you put yourself in the shoes of a customer, essentially what the customer wants to do that he or she paid you with their hard-earned money and they returned the products, but they haven't received a refund yet, right? So it's a pretty bad situation in that sense that there's not only like cool brands that handle returns like you do now with Rich Returns, right? Like super transparent, but there are like a lot of like more shady brands or brands that simply do not communicate well with the customers. So the customer is like left in the dark, like where's the products? Did they arrive? Where's my money? Like when will I receive that money? So it's very important for you to push that communication up one level, right? And it's also from a business perspective super important that you can essentially decrease the amount of inquiries that you have to your customer support. Because what will happen if a customer is left in the dark? Well, they will contact your support like 1 day after they return, 2 days after they return. Like, where is my return? Like, did it get stuck anywhere? Like, where's my payment? I didn't receive any refund or something. So using these email settings, and these emails that we send out automatically when the status of a return is changed is really key, right? So let's jump directly into it. So in the Rich Returns dashboard, just head over to the email settings tab, and then we just click for visualization on this select email, and you see 6 different statuses, what I call them. So imagine like this. So a return has a life cycle, just like a normal order on Shopify, right? Like a normal order on Shopify is like it's created, then it's paid, then it's unfulfilled, then it's fulfilled, then it's delivered, right? So there's like a life cycle behind it. And the same is with returns. So a return always starts as a pending return, right? Then goes into approved, it goes into shipped when a customer like literally ships it. Then it goes into received when you or your warehouse receives it. And then it goes into resolved when the customer is paid back the money or exchanged the product, right? And then there's also rejected, which would mean, for example, if the return is in a pending state and you look at the return or your staff looks at the return and they determine, well, this doesn't qualify or like the customer intentionally damaged the products, like we want to reject the return. So that will be like the last status. So in all of these cases, when you change the status of the return to one of these emails here or to one of these statuses, then the matching email is sent out automatically to the customer if you want that. So for most merchants, I would recommend at this point to tackle the pending return email, the approved return email, and then something like the received return email, right? And if you have a lot of rejections or you have rejections, then fill out the rejected return email, right? Then you have like all your bases covered. Let's take a look at the pending return email. So it says an email for a pending return is sent to the customer when they initially submit a return through the return portal and wait for your approval. So why is it important to write that email? Well, the customer just initiated the return. They have no idea if you've received it, right? If they went through our portal, they get a confirmation like visually we got your return, but it's still important to give them something like a virtual slip or something that they know, hey, that company, they received my return, right? So pending email, important. Activate it, send this email to customer. If you haven't activated this and you filled out the email, then nothing's sent to the customer. So activate it and go on with customizing the email, right? Very important. On the top, we have the sender email. It's the same for all emails. It's essentially most likely your customer support email. Yeah, something like support@myfashionbrand.com or something. So if the customer has any questions and they hit a reply, this reply automatically goes to your support, right? And not to any other email address. Or what I personally hate and which is like a really bad, I would say it reflects really badly on your brand and also on your support is if you have something like a no reply at My Fashion Brand. It's like, for me, it's like a red flag when I shop online. So make sure if a customer like replies to something like this that the reply is received. So let's get through this. We have an email subject that is sent to a customer, and we have email content, right? For the email content, you can use text, you can use links, and you can use emojis. So I think it's very important that the email is super clean, so not that cluttered HTML. People like really clean emails that communicate well and they tell them what's up, right? So what we do here is we did some kind of personalization. You see here, hi customer first name. And what you can do is under personalization, want to personalize your emails with variables, you can just click on that. And then you see like a whole array of different dynamic variables that you can insert. You probably know those variables or this like type of inserting dynamic content from applications like MailChimp. They have the same, like Klaviyo. Basically all of those email platforms use the same thing. So what does it mean? It essentially means like when we send out an email to the customer, it doesn't say hi customer first name. It inserts the first name of the customer from the return into the email, right? So if the customer is called, let's say Maria, it says, hi Maria, we've received your return, right? Which is super cool because the customer, it's a very personalized salutation for the customer. Yeah. So what you can put in is, you can put in RMA number, you can put in order number, you can put in the item details. Item details include the quantity of products, the title of the product, and then why the customer wants to return the product, right? So some merchants use this and tell the customer, hey, please print out this email and put it as a slip into the package. So the email like doubles as a return form because it includes like the return number, which is the RMA number. Return merchandise authorization is like the official word for it. It can include the order number, customer email, etc. So you really have, when your warehouse receives it or you receive it in your company, you really know like what is the return and what does it include, right? Which makes it super easy to process. In other videos, I talk about how to set up prepaid return labels, right? And these variables are relevant if you use prepaid return labels on our platform, right? So this would be like the label so the customer can instantly download the label and like stick it on their package, and the tracking links so they can track the return, right? And if you manually upload labels, this would be the correct variable, right? Always use variables with the curly braces, so it's not just manual label download link, it's curly brace opening, manual label download link, curly brace closing, right? Exactly like this, and it's how you see it right here. Okay, so this is just an example. We will add some, I would say, pre-filled emails to the tutorial sections over time. So check this out under either getting started or emails. If you're in the tutorial section, there might already be some pre-filled templates if you want to use them. But please always adapt them to your brand, at least a little bit, so it's just not a standard experience for the customer, but a great experience with your brand and with the returns process. I think that's very important. If you have done that, just hit save and the email is safe, right? Then hit over to the next step, approved email, and do the same thing. Customize it, and that's it. One important thing to understand is under return settings, there's a setting that says auto accept returns, right? Right? What does it mean and what does it mean for email, right? Auto accept returns is especially our high volume merchants. They don't want to look at every return and then determine if it's approved or rejected. They automatically want to approve all returns, right? So what we do here, if you have this setting enabled, is that we skip the pending status of the return, right? Because it's always approved and a return goes from pending to approved to shipped, etc., 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 right? So that's important to understand, which also means for email that we skip the pending email, right? Even if you've set it here and activated here, it's skipped and it goes directly to the approved return email. Yeah, that's very important to understand. So what I want you to do now is fill out the pending email, fill out the approved email, the received email, and if you need it, the rejected email. It should be done within like 5 minutes. Most, and then you have a great communication for your customer. You have greatly reduced the load put on your customer support team because customers do not have to contact you anymore. And I think it's a really great return experience for your customers. All right. Watch out in the tutorial sections for more videos and hope to talk to you soon. Bye bye.